So, welcome everyone. Let's start. So, we were last, I think, reading The Mother's Light, going through a little bit of Rishabhchand's writing, and I think it was very interesting to go through these words because, yeah, somehow all of us feel confused. What am I born for? What is the purpose of our life? And it feels like no matter how many times we read these words, somehow we forget and again are lost and depressed and I don't know, yeah, feeling not really here, but here. So last time we went through four categories, and these were like as if it feels like we keep switching from one phase to another phase, four category of human beings. And then towards the end, we were reading this, yeah, this one by the mother. Of what use would be man if he was not made to throw a bridge between that which eternally is but is not manifested, and that which is manifested, between all the transcendences, all the splendors of the divine life, and all the obscure and sorrowful ignorance of the material world. So, this is the task given to human beings. And if we live a life without fulfilling consciously this task, that's why I think masters and saints have said, what a waste of precious human life to take a birth and then just spend it like animal like and go through this birth without knowing why is one here and what can one consciously do. So this is where we last ended. Now I think it's up to us whether we want to take it forward, maybe read a little bit more, which is again, I think, beautiful because it directs us towards what is the goal for human life. Or if maybe you have heard that enough, maybe some of us have, uh, then we can move to Rishabh Chandji's different reading, which is the biography of Sri Aurobindo. So, yes, I'm open and please unmute and share your thoughts.
Yeah, I think I would love to continue and read the biography.
You would love to continue this one or read the biography?
No, sorry, this one. I thought you said the continuation would be the biography, but that's extra. So yeah, I mean, because
That's a
what we
different
read
one.
was pretty
That's a different.
amazing. So with this document that we were reading,
Okay.
if we, yeah, that would be.
Okay. Any more thoughts? Anyone else?
Sorry, I just came in, so I'm yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So let's then maybe continue with what we have been reading. I think it's very, very interesting. At least I find it so. And since Taru is also interested and nobody is saying no using the veto power, so let's continue. Um, okay. So let us start from here, page 66. In the Mother's Light is the book by Rishabh Chandji that we have been reading. Starting from this paragraph, in this prayer, the mother sets up a goal. So this is the prayer that we read last time, and then he's talking about that prayer. I think it would be nice to just go through this bit of a prayer also while we go through his comments. Yeah, so anyone who feels inclined to read, please go ahead.
Yeah, Monica, I'll read.
Okay, yes.
Of what use would be man if he was not made to throw a bridge between that which eternally is, but is not manifested, and that which is manifested, between all the transcendence, all the splendors of the divine life, and all the obscure and sorrowful ignorance of the material world. Man is the intermediary between that which has to be and that which is. He is a bridge thrown over the abyss. He is the great X as the cross, the quaternary link. His true abode, the effective seat of his consciousness, should be in the intermediate world at the joining point of the four arms of the cross, where all the infinity of the unknowable comes to take precise form for being projected into the multitudinous manifestation. The center is the seat of supreme love and perfect consciousness of pure and total knowledge. Establish there, O Lord, those who can, who must, and who will serve thee truly, so that thy work may be done. The bridge may be definitively established, and thy forces may spread untiringly in the world. Beautiful prayer.
Yes,
At
really
least we
very
are happy
beautiful.
reading it.
Yeah, I think just reading itself opens some knots up, in us.
Yeah.
So this was the prayer, and maybe Sadhati, you can go ahead where
Yeah.
Rishabhchand is talking about this prayer also.
Yeah. In this prayer, Mother's, Monica, can you please highlight this? Give me easy for me to read. Yeah. Yeah. In this prayer, the mother sets up a goal, outlines a destiny before mankind, which surpasses its highest imagination and is destined to fulfill its widest and deepest aspiration. Man has to be a bridge between that which eternally is, but is not manifested, and that which is manifested, high above, beyond the frontiers of time and space, or the ineffable and unthinkable transcendences and infinitudes of the unmanifest, and below, at the polar end, or the obscure, traveling expanses of the material existence, ignorant and sorrowful. Man must raise himself out of the lower yoke of desires and passions, ascend to the peak of his being, now veiled from his mental consciousness, and take his effective seat in the intermediate world from where he can channelize and conduct the golden stream of God's descending light for the illumination and transfiguration of the whole of his earthly nature. He is the great X as the cross, the quaternary link. Body, life, and psychic being, the soul, and the mind constitute his quaternity. The first two link and the last two raise him beyond himself and beyond the universe and unite him with the eternal unmanifest. He is thus created to bridge the yawning gulf between matter and spirit and be the great reconciler and unifier of Prayers and Meditation of the Mother, August 29, 1914. What appears as eternal opposites in creation. So this continues from here, right? Be the great reconciler of unifier of what appears as eternal opposites in creation. His birth here is not a chance, caprice of nature, or in a vain error. So I'll continue. I'll finish this para, or we'll wait.
Yeah, this one you can finish. The one this is highlighted.
Yeah. If he has come down into the material world, it is certainly not to run away from it for good and all, leaving it in its distressing darkness, but to illumine and transform it and render it and abode of the divine. The overstress on the individual salvation was a passing phase of human aspiration when the spiritual vision was contracting and the spiritual force receding before the advancing tide of materialism. The great primeval prayer of the human heart is, in the words of the Rig Veda, become high uplifted. O strength, pierce all wheels, manifest in us the things of the Godhead. Beautiful.
Thank you.
But unfortunately, we are not, understanding what we are here for. We want to eat, we want to cook, we want to go shopping, we want to just spend our life like this. And again, one life is wasted. Again, we have to come back. That to that X stage, when will we come? If we don't, at least by reading this, we know, there is something higher than what we are. It's really beautiful. Thank you, Monica, for bringing this up.
Yeah, thank you.
See, I think it is like Savitri for me. When we read it, we will not, we don't understand anything, but we feel something has gone in.
Yes, yes. And one feels that upliftment, and that obsession with our own little private lives and all the endless affairs of that life. I think we are able to, at times, it takes us away from all that and shows us a different possibility that, okay, this is also possible for me to focus upon. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Man must raise himself out of the lower yoke of desires and passions, ascend to the peak of his being. See, we know only we have to achieve something, we have to do this, we have to do that, no? So generally people are like that, even we are like that most of the times. It's a great eye-opener. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really so happy reading this. Thank you so much.
I think oftentimes those of us who are consciously walking this path, I think many a times we undergo times of really, I would say, immense frustration, and also that, oh, I'm still like that. And somehow it feels now to me that maybe I have to come to terms with that, yes, uh, a, a, a part of me will be like that, the lower one, desires and passions and frustrations and annoyance and egoistic pursuits. But that's only a part of me, and there is something more to me which is not just that. And when somebody was asking me, somebody who is just in Pondicherry right now and just wondering that I'm here and just confronted with all the previous memories and past, whatever things that are coming up. And when will I be totally empty? And it feels like I just shared that again, it's not a matter of one day, 2 day, or even one lifetime. I mean, if somebody asked, that how many lifetimes would it take to be a Buddha? And the answer I think that came was that just like you see this Mount Meru, I think it was Mount Meru, and when a little bird goes somewhere and brings one seed, and then again goes somewhere and then brings one seed, and then when she has got enough seeds that this whole mountain is covered with those seeds, that is the amount of lifetimes you would need to become a Buddha or fully realized or whatever. So, I mean, again and again, although yes, frustration comes, annoyance comes that again you have so much, uh, one can say, the lower stuff in you or whatever is shadow, whatever is darkness, whatever are the disturbing elements, they're all there. And somehow it feels that just to come to terms with it, that it's a long, long, long journey. And to empathize with that fact and not to get really frustrated about the state of affairs, and to also focus with the help of friends and co-travelers that we are making progress. It's not that there is no progress, that some little baby movement is there, although we again are pulled back because there are slopey, like a slide is made, and we are pulled back in that slide into our previous past patterns, which are not benefiting, yet they are there. The patterns of desires, passions, and jealousies, ambitions, greed, everything. They're all there. They're not going anywhere. So I think we have to just relax into that it will take a long time when all the darkness disappears and there is nothing that we can be frustrated about. It will take a long time. And all that I can right now do is just to, at one day, one moment at a time, if I'm trying to do my best and live a life as joyously and making use of all the raw materials, obstacles on the path. That's it. Being more loving, being more genuine, transparent. Uh, at times, maybe one doesn't have the capacity to be cheerful, but at least uh, knowing that we are more than just our shadows, and the shadows are here to stay for some more time. So not to get disheartened by that. Mm. Just like Shardaji was sharing that we don't realize, although we read it, but we don't realize that we have a purpose here. Now we are here, and today we are reading these words, and of course, when we are reading, it must have an impression on our being, so it will do its work. Now we don't know after how many lifetimes we have gotten to this stage where we are wanting to read these words and they are making sense. We have no clue.
Yeah, actually, Monica, I think
Yes.
after so many years we have come here. That itself is one great achievement.
Yeah, yeah. And within this lifetime, we can see that, oh, I
Yeah.
feel genuinely inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we should feel happy for that. And,
yes,
maybe, after so many births, we will also,
yes,
will
yes.
be a better
Yeah,
person, better than this condition. Yeah. We'll try to. That
yeah,
actually
yeah,
gives beautiful happiness. Okay.
yeah, yes, yes, yeah,
Thank
yeah. So Jetsunma also shares, Jetsunma shares that just that we have got this opportunity to practice, and we know about taming the mind, and we have to, maintain a stillness within, maybe at times become thought free and not buy into all our thoughts and feelings all the time. So even knowing this, as Shardaji was sharing, in this very lifetime, and the ability that the body is functional, the mind is functional, intellect is okay, and all that can contribute to this continuing practice. I mean, that itself is such a big blessing. That what more can one ask for? Mhm. So not everyone can do that. One may have a human birth, but maybe the causes and conditions are not apt enough uh, for us to practice. So yeah, that's the gratefulness we can uh, kind of take the repose on. Yeah, anyone wants to add on anything here?
Yeah, I think I was just thinking of this, and that, how many more, sometimes like you said, the frustration is at times a bit high, and you wish that, at least I wish that, this had come much, much, much earlier than, because yeah, uh, the the questions were there for so long, and it is only that, over a couple of years, then it has slowly being answered. And yeah, So I guess, yes, we are. I'm glad that, yes, it has happened now. But yeah, I wish it was much, much earlier for me personally.
गुड
Yes.
वन. देखिए, चाह चाह की तो कोई सीमा ही नहीं है.
सीमा ही नहीं
There is no,
है.
right, there is no end to being regretful about things. But as I think,
Yeah.
very reconfirming some words of people who are wise, they say that nothing moves without the divine will.
Mm.
So if we were not there, we are right now, maybe we are now understanding, we think, and we wish that maybe that would have happened few years ago. But the thing is that whatever has happened because it was supposed to happen. And nothing has gone left or right. And as they say that you are exactly at the right place at the right time, and there is nothing which is not okay about it.
Right. Right.
Beautiful, Monica. Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. I think all of us, not only the ones in the session, but also otherwise, all of us have thought about this, what you are sharing, that, oh, I wish I could have this much of wisdom 10 years ago before getting married. But the
Yeah.
point is that without getting married, we would not have actually
The
maybe been
wisdom
part.
would not have. Yeah. Yeah. So the only, I'm not saying that, it's in a any other way, but I'm just wondering that having to just, sort of, like you said, just like even like little pinch of whatever has come, whatever one has understood, one is going through. uh, what probably my at times that I face the difficulty is that the people whom you live closely with are probably not understanding where you are. And yeah, like you said, I remember, the point is not to relate or not to, just be this thing. But sometimes, you wish, I mean, again, yeah, again a wish, right? That they would just see that little, maybe that little pinch also, and say, oh, you know what, it's okay that you are, there. And it's all right, because most of the time, unfortunately, other people find it like very, like, like, oh, like, what the hell, why are you doing this, or why are you even talking about something like that? And yeah, so I guess, yeah, not trying to, this thing, maybe their time will also come, but yeah, just a bit of understanding would
Yeah,
be really nice.
yeah. I think very commonly, I think all of us really are craving, many of us, not all of us, craving to be understood genuinely by the other parties around. And I think this really helps because when I see myself in such a state that I wish that they would understand, I think through that I can see that, oh my God, all of us are wanting to be understood, just like I am wanting to be understood, and that brings me in their shoes.
So 5 minutes restricted.
And rather than wanting them to understand me, now I actually feel that can I be one less begging that, oh, please, why don't you understand me? Can I actually become a part of giving solace and maybe listen well and just be well rather than, this begging bowl, which is always there, 24/7. It is with us, at times more concretely present, it is at times not. But I think my own begging, this wanting uh, for the other people to understand, look at the phase where I am in my life, in terms of whatever growth, evolution, doesn't matter. First of all, we don't have a clue where we are. Secondly, wherever we are, and everyone has the full right to be wherever they are. And each one is wanting that, why don't you understand wherever I am? So that's the fun. I think that's the comic aspect of it, that each one maybe in different stages of ascension, or this infinite ladder which is going on and on towards our own home, perfection. And the thing is that we have all been there, or we will be there. We are all in each other's shoes. But the thing is that when I am in my shoes, that's the separative consciousness, divisive consciousness. This is what we call ego consciousness. Then when I am in my shoes, it's very hard for me to see what are the shoes of the other person next to me. Very hard. Same for the other person. Now the other person may be in thinking that, oh, I am now in these shoes, but look, she doesn't understand where I am. And this goes on extensively, and this is what leads to wars. That one nation doesn't understand where it is. The other one thinks I am good where I am. The other one should understand that this is the place where we have to be. And look at this divisiveness, this separative aspect of our living. Not this extends from families, and this goes on to wars, and we throw bombs at each other. Why don't you understand me? Look at this, the global, like how it becomes huge.
Yeah. Exactly, Monica. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's
And we can't have true oneness and true unity before, as Sri Aurobindo has said, one of his visions, which he declared. One of the visions, this true unity, the ideal of human unity, which we are concerned right now about our family or loved ones. He says that it cannot be. Try as hard as you may. Living from our egoistic consciousness, we cannot have true unity. Impossible. So then it becomes the onus on me. Like if I find that there is a discord in my relationships, we are, I can say, we are blessed that we have the company of mothers and Sri Aurobindo's words. Now I see still that there is a discordant note in my relationships, and it comes up again and again. I think I would take it on me, and I would say that something is still lacking in my genuine understanding. Something is still lacking in my genuine realization. Otherwise, how can it be that in my minds and thoughts I read this and that, but in my relations, when it comes out in practical manifestations, there are still disharmonious notes. And as they say that even one person cannot be left in shadow or darkness, because if that one person is left, that would be enough to create more and more discordance and disharmony. So we have to hold each other's hands. We can't leave each other in darkness and just say that मेरा तो हो गया, अब तुम अपना देख लो type. First of all, मेरा ही नहीं हुआ.
right. Yeah, Mira. I- yeah, true.
So
Thank you.
long process. Yeah,
Long
with me.
process. Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you for bringing it out.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Monica, how is it possible that not even one person is left in darkness?
अब देखो ना, if that one person is left in darkness, the thing is that the idea of this human oneness that we are talking of, or moving towards this divine perfection that we talk of, right? Purity in one's being. Right now, it feels that I am different and Ritu is different. So if Ritu remains in darkness, or maybe Ritu gets enlightened, it uska ho gaya and I can be here, right? That's what it appears. But the thing is that this separation that I see, that I am Monica and you are Ritu, that itself is an illusion. So we seem to be separate, but we are not separate, right? So if one speck is left in darkness, one person is left in darkness, it will have an impact on the whole beauty of the thing. You can't say that it doesn't make a change. Like if you are making a beautiful rangoli, and you have everything prim and proper, but one color is not really as it should be. Then the moment you look at the rangoli or mandala, whatever you're making, the moment you look at it, you will see that in the totality of it, something is still lacking. No matter how beautiful the other parts may have been arranged, but this one still is discordant. So they say, masters have said that why you can't even leave one person, and that's why they say in Buddhism, bodhisattvas come again and again. They are ready to take more and more births to rid all the beings from suffering, because it seems that we are separate, but we are not separate. So how can I leave my enemy, uh, saying that, oh, he's my enemy, just leaving aside. He may be in darkness, but let me, take care of my friends. Sri Aurobindo says, my enemy's fall, my rival's fall is my own disgrace. The very fact that my enemy is still in dark and shadow, and I am maybe out of that creature, is my own disgrace, that I did not have enough compassion and understanding and wisdom and true realization that I, did not take him along. So we don't exist in this separate, this body, that body, this body ends here, that body starts there. We don't exist like that. This has been now researched even by scientists that we are not like that. So that's why we can't leave any little speck in darkness. Whatever we can do, it doesn't mean that we have to exhaust ourselves, doing stuff and pulling everyone out of darkness. Everyone that has their own phases and stages. But if there are people ready, and if you have the capacity, to spread light, and still that light is just in the four walls of the house. What a shame, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my feeling. Yeah.
Okay.
I think this also comes very beautifully when we talk about, say, global, like what we are doing to the planet, right? Now, I see that my house should be clean because I'm very particular about hygiene and sorting waste. But now, where it goes, I don't care. So again, separativeness, my house, boundary ends, something else, boundary starts. Separative, divisive consciousness. And we have been seeing that if I put it out of the house, that's not enough because it will choke the drain outside my house. And when it rains, we are all in a big muddle again. The plastic that we throw out in the oceans when we go as tourists, and these beaches, and wherever we go, you see bottles and bottles thrown on the beach. Where does it go? It comes back to us because of our interconnectedness. It comes back to us in our cod liver oil, in the fish we eat, in the water. Plastic particles are found because it's everywhere. So that's why we can't live even a speck in darkness, because we are vastly interconnected. We don't even know how interconnected we are. So even at this grosser level, we are understanding this interconnectedness and why it is important to consume less and recycle more and reduce, and these kind of things. And on the subtler level, Mother says that you if you take care of one, maybe if once you are able to step back from desire, or overcome a desire, or overcome ambition, anger, greed, or lust, or anything, if you genuinely make one little uh, perfection in you, or are able to take a baby step, don't you have no idea. Mother says people don't know how big effect it creates, how big a ripple it is in the vast world of these forces of desire, ambition, lust, greed. It's like a whole world, and you actually contribute with your little baby step to that vast world. So mother says that if people knew that their little steps are mattering so much, then they really like they would open it would open their eyes, and that this really we think that the work is not happening, but the work is happening, and it is making an effect. It is making a ripple. So even at the subtle level, this is true. The connectedness. So I think maybe all of us will resonate with this, that at times we may have a very good meditation, very good silent inward experience. But then when the moment we come out in the worldly domain or our day-to-day interactions, we see the gap, we see the loophole, and it brings discontent. And it is good, I think, to have a little bit of discontent. We must not get too self-satisfied, because when I see this gap, then only I must strive to fulfill this gap. And they say that mother, by her coming, has mother is the bridge. She is the golden bridge. So for those of us who are connected with the mother, I think the only power in this constant remembering the mother and constant offering of whatever we find is not benefiting anymore, but still there. That will do the job. Mother has made it so simple for us. She is the golden key. She is the golden bridge. And in Savitri, Satyavan towards the end says, lay all upon her. She is the cause of all. So I feel that it's really a great opportunity for those who have a connection with the mother, that to to fulfill this gap of what we understand intellectually, know, but in our relationships or workplace, it is not there. Like there is a gap in between. And to fulfill this gap, if we connect and offer ourselves and open ourselves more and more to the mother, that really does the job. So this, I think this is, we have to see that just like the divine is infinite, the other half is also infinite, the darker part. And that is why we see in ourselves all the latent tendencies, all the non-beneficial patterns. They keep rising us indefinitely, indefinitely. Like there is no end as if to them. They may lower in their degree, but they don't disappear completely. So just that's what I was sharing in the beginning, just for myself, coming to terms with that. Okay, this is here to stay. This is here to stay. Now, not to get frustrated with that, but doing our job of remembering and offering and remembering and offering, and just making ourselves more present, open to the mother, more living from the heart, one moment at a day, you know, moment by moment. So just doing our job, knowing that there is a lot of darkness and this lifetime would not be enough to completely take care of that. But that doesn't mean that we would not walk the path, mm, because walking the path is a joy. It's a blessed opportunity that we have got. And for that, again and again, this comes that to take us away from our separative divisive consciousness. Just want to maybe spend a time bit here, that to take us away from our divisive consciousness, it's so important for us to become thought free, at least at will, for some moment. What in Savitri Sri Aurobindo says, when Savitri is really stuck with grief of Satyavan dying. There is this voice that comes and it reminds. Just let me maybe bring that up. I think it would be nice. I really love that. And just a second. Yeah, got that. Yeah, this one. So she's really like in grief with this pain of Satyavan not being here. And she says, speak, speak to me, speak to my depths, O great and deathless voice. Command, for I am here to do thy will. Now she's feeling a bit lost here and there, and this great grief is in front of her, of Satyavan's body. And then the voice replied, remember why thou camest, find out thy soul, recover thy hid self. In silence, seek God's meaning in thy depth. Then mortal nature change to the divine. Open God's door, enter into his trance. Cast thought from thee, that nimble ape of light. In his tremendous hush, stilling thy brain, his vast truth wake within, and know and see. Cast from thee sense that veils thy spirit's sight. In the enormous emptiness of thy mind, thou shalt see the eternal body in the world. Know him in every voice heard by the soul. In the world's contacts, meet his single touch. All things shall fold thee into his embrace. So this was I've come to this again and again because mostly we are where we are is in the thought or in the sense, feeling, sense, perception, and we are trying to as if grope in darkness, finding our trying to connect our dots in lives and trying to connect dots in the stories within the realm of thoughts and sense. And here it is said just the opposite, that by groping in this darkness of thoughts and feelings and sense perceptions, you will never be able to really uh, know the soul, the true consciousness. So it is Sri Aurobindo himself has stressed upon that to really touch and fathom and at least be in communication with that part of us which is beyond thought, beyond sense, beyond feeling, we have to still ourselves. We have to silence the mind. We have to empty the mind. But if we still miss these words, I feel that what a shame. That if I don't practice what I read again and again, and still I try to find in my thoughts, in my feelings, in through the sense perceptions, all my trying to resolve the dots in my life. Why is it not happening? Because that's not the way it is supposed to happen. So cast from thee the sense that veils thy spirit sight. So the true knowing, the true sight that is veiled by the sense of sense perceptions, our six senses. All the five senses and then the interpretation of the mind, the sixth sense. It veils, it brings like a big block of curtain in front of my true knowing. And I think that through that only I can see. But I never really find my resolution through that block and curtain. So cast away thought from thee, cast away sense from thee. so that you can see truly how things are. Cast thoughts from thee, that nimble ape of light. It's like a mimicry of light. When we are thinking, it seems that, oh, now I know. All of us have touched that space. When we are consciously thinking, actively processing logical, analytical thoughts, something in us feels that, oh, I've got a grasp on it. And he says that cast thoughts from thee, a nimble ape of light. It's like a very slight mimicry of light. Ape is like we mimic something, aping something. It mimics light, but it is not light. And I think all of us have really touched that much of years in life that we know what our endless thoughts and endless feelings and sense perceptions have given us. They can't give us like really true knowing and true touch with our base back home. So I think that makes me convinced that maybe now it's my time to practice. Maybe now it's time to give it some, at least some weightage, some time in my life, that there are some moments that I spend which are totally free of, at least I try, totally free of disturbance of thoughts, feelings, sense perception. They are just, and another, there's like one uh, cherished guest. Yes. So in Savitri, Sri Aurobindo uses this phrase of the cherished guests were left outside. What are the cherished guests? Thoughts and feelings and sense perception. Usually we cherish them so much. My thoughts, my storylines, my life, my feelings. This is what I feel for this and that and everything. So those were left outside. Then only a true communion can happen. But always entertaining the cherished guests, we can't really uh, get in touch with what all of us are craving for. Yeah, any thoughts, any reflections here?
Hi, Monica. Just joined in very, very late because I've been traveling away on work. But just that caught that last bit that you said, I just wanted to share that this feeling of not knowing is tremendous. And and if one can observe it and step back from feeling completely in despair, it takes a lot because you really think, my God, I want to go back to like kindergarten, pre-prep school, in the scheme of life. And you think, my God, all the things that you feel almost embarrassed of yourself to ever think that one thought that one even knew a little bit, leave alone the moments that one has thought, oh, I knew so much. And it's tremendous. It's a very humbling experience. It's an overwhelming experience. It's such a combination of so many things. And the important thing to remember is to hold on to her love, her light. Being connected with her is so important at this stage because it can really be very, very kind of downgrading of oneself if one allowed it, and to know that everything has just been a preparation and to hold on to that trust and faith that no, she has put you through this and that, okay, maybe you finally reached where you can begin the sadhana. That you've gone through this tremendous journey and she's giving you the grace of seeing that, okay, I have been holding you all this time and I will continue holding you and now I will help you really climb to the peak. Of course, it's many lifetimes and all of it, but it's just been my experience and it's a hard one as well. And you think, oh, anything in the past which you thought of as difficulties are not difficulties. This actually is the one to not give up. It's like, okay, you've reached that top part, which is the hardest bit, and to hold on. I just thought I'd share my feelings and experiences on this.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yes. Mm. Mother talks about endurance, and one of my friends had once shared with me, there's something on endure, just keep enduring. Endure, endure, endure. Yeah. So I was just tempted to look it up in Savitri, this thing of cherished guests that was coming to me. Here, I think we did touch upon this, the Book of Beginnings, page 47, 48, that here uh, a greater personality sometimes possesses us, which yet we know is ours, or we adore the master of our souls. Then the small bodily ego thins and falls, no more insisting on its separate self, losing the punctilio of its separate birth. It leaves us one with nature and with God. In moments when the inner lamps are lit and the life's cherished guests are left outside, our spirit sits alone and speaks to its gulf. A wider consciousness opens then its doors, invading from spiritual silences. A ray of the timeless glory stoops a while to commune with our seized, illumined clay and leaves its huge white stamp upon our life. And then, of course, it goes on. Just a second. सुनो ये देखना अब वही वहीं से करा दो so sorry there was a call for the child here yeah so yes and towards the end Savitri page number I think Alokda had mentioned once page number 723 there is this the last bit that I was sharing about lay all upon her you know, when Satyavan is sharing this what I think Shilpa right now was sharing this keeping us ourselves with the mother yeah this one lay all on her she is the cause of all with her enchantments she has twined me round so this we are if we can be captive still and we are all I believe captive once we have come to the mother or mother has come to us then there is no turning back yet still a captive in her golden hands I tread your little hillock called green earth. So, now he's come back, Satyavan, and now he's saying that why, I'm still here and alive, just talking on that level. So, still a captive in her golden hand. Yeah, again, I'm resisting the temptation. Don't want to make it into a Savitri session today. So sorry. Yeah, anyone who wants to add on anything here or before we move ahead? Okay, so I'm assuming there is no further reflection at the moment. So just maybe towards the end, taking this, whatever we read today. His birth here is not a chance caprice of nature or a vain error. I think today only we were talking of some, that how teenagers specifically, youth are like they have no purpose in life and feeling really lost and depressed, and how to bring life back into life. That and since we don't, I mean, the more these words spread, good for us because most of us and many of us really lack a true meaning and a true purpose in life. From outside, we may look really very elaborate, dressed up, and full of all the worldly pleasures. But inwardly, we are bound to be empty if we don't really work upon, not even achieve, but just begin to work consciously towards what we are supposed to do, being a human being. And even if that work starts for which we are born, I think that itself is really a great contentment within, that one is now at it consciously. Otherwise, such a feeling of lack and depression and what do I do? Why am I still alive? Because those, worldly things and material affairs just on the top surface, they can't give us the content that we are looking for because we are not made for those. That's not the purpose of our life, to have a happy family and to have two little children. Everyone is placed in a good job, earning well. And that's why that doesn't give us satisfaction because that's not why we are here. And when we begin to consciously walk the journey, I think that itself, whether we are stumbling still, and we will stumble still, but I feel that that itself brings a lot of really like a deep meaning in our life and a contentment, even when we have not really reached anywhere, but still the ability to look at our obstacles, look at the mind, try to tame it, and try to purify ourselves further and further. That itself is such joy that it gives a purpose and meaning to our life. And I can't say that what do I do? I'm so depressed and I've lost meaning in my life. So when we when we begin to stagnate inwardly and stop progressing, then all these darker forces as if they overwhelm. So it would be nice if, like a little bit of it, drop of it, of self-work and not self-improvement, but something like, just perfecting this instrument that we are. If a drop of it is there in our life, I think that really is a good job done. So this is what, we were reading, that his birth here is not a chance caprice of nature or a vain error. If he has come down into the material world, it is certainly not to run away from it for good and all, leaving it in its distressing darkness, but to illumine and transform it and render it an abode of the divine. Yeah. The manifestation of the Godhead implicit in the soul of every man is then the goal of human life. Here we are, we have enough employment for this lifetime. Now we can't say that I am depressed because we have been given the job. If we don't now take it up, that's totally our own free will. But am I here? And we see that no, I am not here. So then there is still a lot of job to be done or undone. Man has to exceed his present ignorant humanity and establish himself in the intermediate world at the joining point of the four arms of the cross, where all the infinity of the unknowable comes to take precise form for being projected into the multitudinous manifestation. So from unmanifest to manifest, that chasm that is there. This intermediate world is what Sri Aurobindo calls the supermind, the immense manufactory of definite forms and source of all life's distinctions and diversities, securely seated in that effulgent world of infinite creativity, he, the Jivan Mukta, will act and live. So today I was reading something again from Buddhist texts, and they were exactly, I mean, truth again and again is one. It's like comes to us on face. Exactly this was, said in different words, and saying that the highest, most level bodhisattva would be the one who knows emptiness fully, and yet he knows that there is just not like emptiness is the truth and rest all is not truth. He knows emptiness, and then he also knows the relative existence. So we can say that one has a communication or communion with the divine, but one also has this ability that one is able to put it into work, action, speech, words. Otherwise, what's the fun? So that's what is required of us and is demanded of us as human beings. And we have lots of good opportunities on the way in our work, family, home, that we can experiment more and more. Yeah. So yes, any last comments, anyone, before we end? All right, so one assuming nothing at the moment. So in that case, let's take this last moment of silence before we end to just share, dedicate the merit through collective reflection, understanding, gathering, sharing this merit with the infinite number of sentient beings. And may our hearts be at rest and peace. May our minds be simple, uncomplicated. And may we have lots of joy and progress in life. Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining in.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank
Thank you,
you. Thank
Monica.
you, Monica.
Thanks,
Thank